without bringing in consciousness as a higher dimensional reality, we cannot help but look at everything as a part of the duality of life. Choice, no choice. Freedom, bondage. Purpose, no purpose. Individuality and collectivity. Free will and no choice, no free will. It's all a part of the happening that you cannot affect or change. Now, this is where we've been having our arguments. There's a group that believes in free will, believes in the idea of individuality, believes in choice, and there's another group that looks at everything as a part of a larger structure, hence no possibility for an individual entity to choose. Choice, even while exercising it, deep down is an illusion. Because if you have choice, and if you can choose to do something all by yourself, independently, why should that choice affect me? If that choice affects me, then at the very moment of you exercising your choice, you're taking away my choice. So there is a paradox, there is a conflict. If choice is absolute, then 10 people should be able to choose for themselves each moment of what they want to experience without affecting each other's choice. But we know every time an individual exercises this so-called choice, that choice affects other individuals. And it affects them whether they want it or not. So how do we resolve this conflict? We cannot resolve this conflict without understanding the nature of reality, without understanding what is existence made of. Is it space? Is it matter? Is it time? Is it energy? Are we biological entities developed through evolutionary process with choice being a survival mechanism, a useful evolutionary mechanism? Or have we just been fooling ourselves with all these ideas? Have we been lost in a web that we have weaved for ourselves, the web of ideas, the web of concepts? Logic and reasoning we regard as the highest form of investigation into the nature of reality. What if they are simply structural assumptions that we make about reality, but has nothing to do with reality at all? What if logic and reasoning can be applied in many different ways to the same situation? Right away, indicating that perhaps the way we understand the nature of reality is just one way. If there are multiple ways, then there is no question of right or wrong, because there are multiple ways of looking at the same thing. And that is why we've not had a simple consensus on even the most basic of ideas, something that affects our lives, something that is so integral to us. Something as basic as, are you free to choose or not? We don't know this. And then we're talking about solving the biggest problems of the universe. To me, solving a problem means explaining the nature of reality all the way through from the individual level to the existential level. We should be able to coherently explain what's happening on the outside as well as what's happening on the inside. Now, if we leave out what's happening on the inside, thoughts, dreams, imagination, fears, desires, ability to choose, if we are not even investigating into all these things, if we regard them as these are non-physics related issues, this is something else, then physics is incomplete. How can we solve the most important problems of physics when we ourselves are smack right in the middle of that process? Ultimately, the problem is of the individual. The reason why we try to understand the nature of reality is because we are. It's because we are, we want to know. How can we leave out the one who's wanting to know? How can the one who's wanting to know remain a mystery while everything else is understood? It doesn't work like that. We have to transcend the duality of life to be able to understand even something as simple as free will. Stuck in the duality of life, it's both. There are moments when it is impossible for you to choose. You simply react to something that is already happening. You're taking a walk and a tree branch falls on you. Just the fact that you did not have enough time to react means you could not exercise your choice to get out of that danger. Something has removed your ability to choose in that moment. So there is a limitation. If I was told that this thing's going to happen, I would have moved away. Because I didn't know, I could not exercise my choice. Now, why should existence be designed or structured in such a way where your free will can be taken away? Something can happen to you without you choosing. We know there are moments when we have no control over what's happening. Forget about what's happening on the outside. We have no control over what's happening on the inside. We don't know why we desire. We don't know why we fear. If we watch a little closely, we can understand it's happening in the world of thoughts. But why? Who's making it happen? Where is choice coming into the picture? So we know there are many moments in life when choice is simply an illusion. But at the same time, choice is very real for the individual. You can place a cup of water in front of the individual and ask the individual to choose what they want to do with it. What that individual is going to do with that water, whether he's going to drink it, whether he's going to throw it out, whether he's going to simply sit and look at it, everything exists only as a possibility. Nothing is realized, nothing is fixed. So we know future isn't a place. Future isn't a thing that is there, fixed, and we are moving towards it. There is no future. There is nothing outside this present moment. Till an individual chooses to experience, or it happens to the individual as a natural process of life, the future is entirely absent. What does this mean? It means there is no world, there is no universe, there is no time, there is no space, there is no matter, absolutely nothing outside of an experience. The whole of existence is an experience. How can individuality be an experience? We cannot understand free will without understanding individuality. If individuality were to be an experience, then just like all other experiences, it would come and go. But we know that individuality does not come and go. It's always there. You are always you. Whether you exercise your choice to be you or not, you are you. When you exercise the choice, you always exercise it uniquely in your own way. But at the same time, you cannot do something that isn't permitted by the laws of existence. You have free choice, you have free will, but that free will is bound to the laws of nature. You can choose to jump. It's your choice, your free will. Okay, I want to jump now. But it's a conditioned free will. Something defines, in a way, predeterminately how high you can jump and what's going to happen when you come back down. The very fact that we have laws of nature, laws of physics, should remove free will completely out of the picture. How can both be compatible? How can you live in a universe where there are absolute laws? We know laws of physics are absolute. They apply everywhere, to every individual, independent of how you look at life, how you perceive things. For example, gravity affects you in exactly the same way. Laws of motion affect you in exactly the same way. How can you have free will in a world where everything is determined by fixed laws? This is the problem. We cannot simply accept that, well, yeah, if everything is determined by fixed laws, then my free will is an illusion. It just appears like I have free will, but I don't have free will. Now, it's very difficult to accept this because if you don't choose, there is no meaning to life. There is no meaning to experience. Every moment, you are choosing. Consciously or subconsciously, knowingly or unknowingly, there is a deep individual phenomenon happening. We cannot understand this by being stuck in our three-dimensional thinking, because our three-dimensional world is an effect. The cause is somewhere else. Unless we understand the nature of reality, which is causing the experience of life to happen, we won't be able to solve this problem. Consciousness beautifully solves this problem. In fact, nothing else can solve the problem of free will, individuality, birth and death, ability to choose a body or inability to choose it. All these questions can only be answered by consciousness.